Here is a Bengali folk song. Hi, this is John Wubbenhorst, and I put together a course, Music of India for the Western Flutist. And I did this because I've been playing Western flute my whole life, but also, early on in my life, I also got deeply involved in the music of India. I'm like many people, and I heard maybe my first taste of the music of India from the Beatles. On Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, there was Within You, Without You, a song by George Harrison where he was playing with musicians from India. I also noticed some of my favorite musicians were taking influence from Indian music. John Coltrane, John McLaughlin with his Shakti group, music from the group Oregon, especially Colin Walcott, who was a student of both tabla and sitar. Later I came to know that many Western classical musicians like Julian Bream, Philip Glass, Alan Havandis had all taken inspiration from Indian music. And then, of course, I started listening to Indian music directly. My high school library had the recording Ravi Shankar live at the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival. This recording really was amazing, and I couldn't believe anybody could play music like that. Going on and on, beautiful inspiration, beautiful melodies, just beautiful, incredible rhythms. I was totally hooked. I was hooked to the point that I went to India, and through a wonderful set of circumstances, I met the great Hariprasad Chaurasia, one of the greatest people ever to play the bansuri, or the bamboo flute from India, from North India specifically. And here it is, here's the bansuri. It's a wonderful instrument. It's a very simple instrument, but because it's open hole, you have a lot of ability to bend the notes. In fact, what I'll do right now is just play a brief piece on the bansuri. This is part of Rag Madhuvanti in Mata Tal of 9 beats. So there you have it. That's a little bit of the bansuri. A different sound, and it's a wonderful instrument. However, when I came back after studying with Hariprasad for 2 years in India, then I went with him for another 12 years to the Rotterdam Conservatorium. I came back, and now I was having a lot of students. I was teaching many people bansuri, but also I ran into a lot of people that had already played Western flute 10, 20, 30 years, and even though this is a wonderful instrument, it's like starting a new instrument. I was investing 8 hours a day in many cases, and it's very difficult just to get the correct intonation because you have to partially cover the holes. So whereas I do encourage people to learn bansuri, on the other hand, I know a lot of people would like to learn some knowledge from Indian music, and but perhaps do it on their Western flute where they have more experience. And so here's the course that I put together. Music of India for the Western Flutist. So we have an introduction section. Each section I made videos for, and then I have some written information, and then also I added other assets and different lectures from the internet. Here's Ravi Shankar talking about the fundamentals of Indian music. There are 6 main chapters in this course. There's a fundamentals, learning about the fundamentals of approaching Indian music, how to use a drone. There's certain apps you can practice with, how to learn the Indian sargam. We have our solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They have sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Then we explore different aspects of developing the raga. The first way of developing a raga is through a lap. The beauty of a lap is one of the first things, chapters that we get into, second chapter that we get into. And of course, I've got recordings relating. We're going to actually learn a raga in this course, Rag Yaman. And so I've got examples from people like Hariprasad Chaurasia and other great artists. Then there's the next section of developing a raga, which is known as Jor. That's the next chapter. And Jor is where there's some motion, there's some rhythm, but there's no time cycle yet. Then in the 4th chapter, we start to get into the Indian rhythms. And the great thing about Indian music is it's highly developed melody. The melodic forms are called ragas. But then also, they have incredible rhythmic system. So we'll be playing in a rhythmic cycle of Rupak Tala of 7 beats and also Tin Tala of 16 beats. And then in the last chapter, the 5th chapter, is sort of a concluding chapter. And we talk about ways you can continue with this music past this course. And then finally, I did add a 6th chapter because I realize a lot of people come from the Western background. They're used to playing written music. So I have put together in my own group, I have a Facing East group, which is sort of a jazz fusion group, but I've written many pieces in Western notation that are very much based on the ragas. So by playing this written music, you can really learn a lot about many, many different ragas. So included in this course, there's a lot of written notation that you can study and play, and actually have recordings you can play along with. And in the process of playing this sheet music, you will be learning many, many different patterns and exposing yourself to many, many different ragas in the process. So that's it. That's the course we put together. I put a lot of time and energy into this course, really my whole life of studying this music. But I think it's something that strengthens no matter what style of music you're playing, to develop, to get exposed to this type of melodic development and the rhythmic development. Not to mention that to me this music is kind of a embodiment of this great sacred culture of India. It sort of encapsulates the great sacred culture that is part of India. And so I hope you'll come with me and enjoy this music, and I hope you'll really enjoy checking out this music, the music of India for the Western Flutist. Hope to see you on the course.